So a personal vision is to be a respectable dad that my kids look up to and say, man, my dad is very cool. So that's personal vision. Professional vision would be, we want to make salespeople better. And it's a really, I think it's a huge thing to try to do. Salespeople connect better, be smarter, take care of their business, maybe not bend the truth so much, and be better stewards.
My vision is that I want to make happiness viral.
In the future, your cell phone, the phone that we have in our pockets, is going to replace the three things that you never leave home without. You never leave home without your car, your keys, your wallet, and your phone.
So anyway, in the future, you won't be meeting here, you'll be meeting wherever you happen to be at the time. You might be in China, and you might be on Mars, who knows. But we'll still all be getting together, and Pete will be the reason we get together.
So what I want to do is I want to create tools that allow people to build these worlds, to build their experiences, to connect with people that they otherwise wouldn't meet, and to give people the power to access information and access resources and really sort of augment their sort of day-to-day existence. Like, I love the idea of, you know, bringing the virtual world and the real world closer together, and I kind of want to do my part to help build that.
We think about being mobile app developers, but we don't think about where all of those apps might exist. And in the future, we are the gatekeepers between end users and hardware manufacturers. So we are the ones that enable these devices, this technology, to actually be useful. So in the future, we won't think of ourselves as mobile app developers. We're just going to be providers of experiences. And the hardware behind that is going to be largely irrelevant, whether television, set-top box, phone, tablet, what have you. Eventually, our code's going to run on all of it.
But my vision of more and more applications is to make it be smarter. Our lives are complex. Keeping track of information, keeping track of schedules. It'd be nice to be able to have something that I can set it up and it reminds me, has something up, look it up for references, even help me make decisions about stuff. I'm still the decision maker. I'm still the one who has it important to do these things. But a tool that helps me do it smarter makes it easier for my own life. And I hopefully think that applications that do that would be ones that would appeal to more and more customers.
What I see happening, and maybe this is more of a challenge to developers than a vision, is let's make the interface of these devices go away. I think we're seeing a lot more of that. Things like Siri, touch screens, voice commands in cars, whatever you want, but I think that's a trend I think we'll see more of. The device is going to go away. You'll have a screen at the size you need to see what you need, and you'll have a little box that does what you need it to do. But the rest of it, the details, the keyboards, the gestures, and all that, maybe let's find a way to get rid of those, because those just take a lot of time and they're really hard to do.
So I have the simple vision that since Brazil has emerged, that each one of you in the future are going to be developing apps, software, whatever, for the whole world at once, not only for a specific market.
I believe that hardware margins will continue to decrease and mobile hardware will become commoditized. And I just came back from San Francisco. I think the bridge between DC and San Francisco will continue to shrink because we've got talent pools.
To find a way to take the iPad, which is hands down the most fantastic thing I've ever had the joy to use, and find a way to make a little tiny dent in all the problems in the giant world of health.
Excuse me, last of the fast, best of the rest. This is on my website. This is something I live by. This is something I teach my kids. And it actually is kind of a vision. And that is, most of us here are going to fail. If any of you know how many times I've come up here with a new idea and a new thing that's going to make me $1 million, you'll know that I failed several times now over the last couple years. But in reality, I haven't failed. Steve wrote an app for a great cartoonist that nobody bought. There's people, for every success story out here, I bet most of them are closer to failures. Most of us are not going to be Steve Jobs. So on that note, what keeps me going? what is my vision? My vision, both personal and professional, is to continue to remember this idea of last of the fast, best of the rest.
You know, I want my iPhone times 1,000 on my watch, or better yet, just on me, but I don't even want to know it's on me. So not only do I want to have the one device in my pocket that is my keys in my wallet and everything else, I want to be able to real speech communicate with it and have it and never have to go back and correct it.
And many of the things that are wrong with electronic medical records are what's right with mobile apps. Context, sensitivity or awareness, keep it simple, stupid, borrow ideas from other industries, cloud infrastructure, cheaper, more usable hardware, and unfettered innovation, as yet unregulated by the government, although that may change. I'm interested in using those advantages to shake up healthcare for the benefit of patients and physicians. I'd like to thank Pete Erickson for starting and growing MoDev DC. It's been both enormously useful and enormously entertaining. Every time I come to one of these, my wife says, "Dear, are you going to your programmers support group?"
And my vision and hope more than anything is that all this connectivity and all this sharing leads to greater understanding. And that when we all have a great global connected consciousness, it can actually create the kind of world, the best possible version of a one world understanding. Not a one world government, but just something where those of us with different faiths, beliefs, backgrounds, even different operating systems can all get along and understand and live in a peaceful way. And once we understand more about each other, that can actually happen. And of course, all the mobile apps will be built on AppMobi.
And so I think my vision for what I hope to contribute to the tech world is really about overcoming information asymmetry. And in many ways, the new world that we're in with interconnectivity in the cloud makes it possible to utilize information for human good that could never have been used before. That the data can be processed in such a way that it can provide people an ability to change things in a positive way. And to
click on something and be able to speak or type in something that's a little more complex than just a simple command and have it understood is not, I think, a pie-in-the-sky vision. I think it's something that's realizable sooner rather than later and can gradually inform the software that we're doing.
So my vision is, like I said, to make content easier to negotiate and more relative to the person rather than to the masses. So in the cloud, I think we need to make it more personal.
More personability, like more me. You know,
They completed visions, they see the success, and keep going. So whatever you have your vision of, please don't make it just a vision. Go out and complete your vision. Because that's what Steve did, spent all his life doing, was making sure the visions actually produce stuff. And I don't think people give him enough credit for that.